Hi there. I want you to play a game with me. Very simple, one rule, and I want you to see how it goes. The game is this. For one day, for 24 hours, I want you to believe that everything is going to work out. I want you to play this game as often as you can, particularly when you have situations or scenarios which may be quite challenging, or there are problems, or situations either at work or at home, or family or community or friends. I invite you to play this game with me, which is to say to yourself, I'm curious, but I wonder if everything actually does work out okay. Why do I invite you to play this game? Well, I'll go back first to a story of mine, and then I'll go through the details after that. Recently, I had to take my 3 children to basketball, one to basketball and 2 to swimming, and then lunch after that. And the timings were such that it was going to be quite tight, in that son to basketball, other 2 to swimming, collect son from basketball, and lunch. So we had to be mindful of time. The kids were fine, they were okay, on board, fine. But we left late. No one's fault, just the way it fell, timing, and I felt we were running late. At that point, I played my game, which I'm giving to you, which is the environment I was in then, in a car with my 3 kids, driving. I have no control over time, no control of what could happen or when it's going to happen. I can't drive particularly faster. I can't change what's going on. So I play my game, which is saying, it's okay, let's notice that everything works out. And the minute I play my game, I begin to feel lighter. I begin to have a smile in my mind, if not on my face, of how does this play out? How would it work out? Wouldn't it be amazing that it does, despite time being tight? This is an important game to play, as I said before, when we are struggling with a situation. It could be quite domestic, quite normal, could be work related. But if we can say to ourselves, what if it's all going to work out okay? Now why? Why do we do this? There was nothing I could control other than my mind in that car on that morning. And I had a choice to make. I could see something as being coming out fine and working out okay, or I could see it as being terrible and not working out and running late and consequences based from that. But in those situations, the only thing I can control is me and how I respond to them. And I'm inviting you to have that same game in your mind next time you find yourself in a situation like this, because it's a healthier, more positive mindset to use. Now, positive not in the sense to not to ignore the fact that you are running late, that maybe you have to review your timings of the next time or whatever it may be, that there's some learning there. But since you are in no control of the environment or the clock, all you're left with is you. And I played this game and give it to you because it's the one that actually is the most fun to play. What may be your normal response to challenges or problems like this is to jump to conclusions that it's broken, it's not going to work out, we're running late, there's going to be a load of problems, and you're going to come out with your list of things of why it's a problem. Go back to things I've spoken about in the past. The mindset we have determines how we react and the outcomes from that. Now, if we take the idea that things aren't going to work out and the running late is going to mean so many problems after that, what does that do for you? How do you feel? What kind of things do you think about? How do you react to friends or family? Where does your mindset go? Nothing you can do about the situation other than experience it. But then to add the conclusion, what are you doing? If it's a negative conclusion, how are you feeling? I'm inviting you to change that response and play this game instead. It's a game of the mind, the same way that your conclusion thinking is the same way. It's just a game you don't know, you can't predict. But I'm inviting you to play it because the mindset change is so much more useful for you, let alone fun, to notice that when we have a situation like this, it's out of our control. Us having the mindset change by thinking, actually, I'm going to get curious, maybe this will all work out. It's better for you, better for your family or friends or whatever situation you're in. It's more useful for you. You can do things with it. Particularly, like in my scenario, when you've got no ability to control things other than how you're reacting to it. The game is important because in that journey from taking the start of the game to its conclusion at the end of the game, how are you going to feel? What kind of person will you be? If we take my scenario and I became thinking, that's it, running late, won't make lunch, loads of problems, can't do swimming, I'm going to have 2 crying kids, etc. It's going to go on and on. How will I be in the car? What kind of person will I be? How will I feel? Will I be frustrated? Will I be aggravated? Will I be already wound up? Will I be tense or stressed, anxious? Will it, continue onto the rest of the afternoon? Will it continue to the next day? I mean, you can balloon and inflate these feelings quite substantially over a period of time. But that's all based on the one idea that I can't predict, but I'm going to have a guess at that it's all going to go wrong. It's going to fail. And as I talk to you, that I can even begin to sense the neck muscles and shoulder muscles tensing up. So I play the game. I get curious to see if everything actually does work out. What does that do for me? The minute I've used it, it actually puts a bit of a smile inside me, if not on my face. And I get curious, I get interested, I get intrigued to notice actually will it happen or won't happen. I've mentioned this in the past, the kind of how planets are made, kind of the cosmic dust gathering together, gravitating towards each other, which became rock and eventually becomes planets, I mean, in its simplistic form. It's the same thing with the game or how you're playing it already in terms of a negative conclusion. It's the same thing. If we have negative dust that's circulating around and getting some force and gravity pulling it towards itself, it's going to become more substantial. Our mindset is going to gear itself towards problems, to it not working out. We won't be thinking in a creative way that's going to create solutions to whatever problem it is or how we're facing it. It'll get more mass, more strength and more density. To the point is then the conclusion does play itself out because we've been thinking about it. We've been accumulating this cosmic dust together, which has created the planet, which is creating that sensation and then the conclusion. And it's about changing that. The action remains the same. We're looking to use the same and looking to use dust to gravitate and pull itself together, but looking through making it positive, about bringing together elements that are more useful for you. So we can actually go through this period of time with a more useful mindset. Maybe there's things you hadn't thought about that by having these kind of positive rocks and the planets developing, that you can actually then action those and actually there come solutions and you give yourself some choice and take some control back, and also actually things begin to work out because our mindset's focused on that. I've spoken about this in the past, and another story I mentioned. Once I was running towards a hill, and it wasn't that much of a hill, it was more of an incline, and I remember not being close to it, but I was seeing it from a distance. And as I saw it from a distance, I thought, I'm going to be so tired when I get there. And before I got to it, as I was thinking about it, I began to get tired, as if I was already on the hill. My mind had gone into the future and actually had slowed me down in the present. The simplest way I can explain to you what happens when we start thinking about this won't work out. We physiologically will be thinking in those ways where it's not going to work out. We'll engineer, maybe at an unconscious level, more challenges. Maybe we'll see something and it'll wind us up more than usual because we're expecting this. So I invite you to play my game. Get curious. Notice when you can use this. Notice when, particularly when you're not feeling in control of the environment, but only yourself. Break that old pattern. The end of my story. Did we make it on time or not? Did I hit my timings? Actually, yes, I did. I'm still a bit surprised by it, but got to my son's basketball game in good time. Not just on time, but in good time. Other two got swimming, they swam, They came out on time, connected, and saw my son play basketball for the last part of his match, back and lunch and so on. And somehow it worked out. Somehow I chose a route that was more useful, that relaxed me and got the outcome that I needed, and the kids were happy. That seems to be the biggest part of that game, because the outcome is so positive, not only at the beginning of the game, but during and after. We can often focus on a negative outcome and use it as our basis of decisions. We don't have that predictive power. We can't see into the future. So you have a choice of what you're going to do. So make it positive. See it through a better filter, one that accumulates more energy, more positive energy around you, and gets you towards a solution, or gets you into a better mindset to deal with it. That has to be the biggest takeaway from today for you.